If you are a black person from the United States, the West Indies or Latin America and ever wanted to find out your ancestry, save yourself the coins. This video will prove you are more than likely an admixed Igbo. Many of you are majority Igbo, Igbo and native, Igbo and European or Igbo, European and native at varying degrees. Contrary to popular belief, Africa is a continent made up of different races and ethnic groups. Only specific African ethnic groups are documented to have been taken into slavery, with Igbos being the most targeted. There is a reason you do not look like most Africans but share similar features with the Igbo, and this video aims to explore this. The Igboid phenotypic footprint left across the American, West Indian and Latin diaspora is often mistakenly credited to solely European or foreign admixture, when Igbos have been documented to express various features such as complexions, eye colors and body shapes throughout historical literature by non-Africans. In the book A Voyage Up the Niger and Benue by Belgian explorer Adolphe Berdo, written in 1880, Berdo claims it was on meeting the Igbo that he first ever saw copper-colored Negroes with blue eyes. The British colonialist George T. Baston also notes the diversity of the Igbo in many of his books. In his book Among the Igbos, published in 1921, he states that on the whole, the Igbos are of good physique and compare very favorably with other African tribes. Many Igbos are truly as black as the proverbial coal, others are almost as light-skinned as the natives of southern Europe, while a few are distinctively reddish. The folk who stand out obstructively are the albinos. There are currently no official statistics on complexions within the Igbo ethnicity, but most would agree the majority are brown-skinned, neither dark or light, at around 40%, 35% are dark-skinned and around 25% light-skinned. There is also a notable minority of Igbos with natural ginger, blonde or sandy brown afro hair. Now let's discuss the historic and cultural evidence of the Igbo footprint throughout the diaspora. Igbo people were transported in large numbers to several Caribbean regions, especially Jamaica. The Igbo played a significant role in the formation of Jamaican culture, language, and social traditions during the transatlantic slave trade. From the 18th to early 19th centuries, a significant number of enslaved Africans brought to Jamaica came from the Bight of Biafra, which is present-day eastern Nigeria, also known as Igboland. Other Caribbean islands that are documented to have received large numbers of Igbos include countries such as Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Guyana, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Haiti, Grenada, Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Suriname, where their influence appears in the natives' appearance, spiritual practices, folklore, music, food, family structures, and speech patterns. The Igbo footprint in Latin America is also well documented throughout the 1500s to 1800s. Enslaved Igbos were transported mainly to countries such as Brazil, Cuba, Belize, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Colombia. Brazil received the largest number of enslaved Africans overall, including many Igbo. Igbo people were especially concentrated in Bahia, Minas Gerais, Pernambuco, and Rio de Janeiro. Finally, between the 17th and 19th centuries, a substantial number of enslaved Africans taken to the United States were Igbo. Igbo captives were shipped largely through Bonny and Calabar ports in the Bight of Biafra, present-day eastern Nigeria, also known as Igboland. Virginia was of the largest Igbo populations in the US, and numerous Virginian plantation records make mention of Igbos. Maryland and the Lower South, especially South Carolina and Georgia rice plantations, also had notable Igbo populations. Historical records note that Igbo captives were often considered independent-minded and prone to resistance. Igbo people participated in Brazilian Quilombo communities, which were escaped slave settlements, Maroon uprisings in the Caribbean, Igbo landing in the US, and many more. The E1B1A theory suggests that since E1B1A haplogroup is common among Black Americans and Igbos, that most Black Americans have Igbo ancestry. E1B1A is the most common paternal haplogroup in Black Americans and Igbos, suggesting a strong likelihood of a shared ancestral connection through the transatlantic slave trade. The E1B1A haplogroup is an ancient lineage that originated in Africa and spread throughout certain parts of the continent. It is the most common paternal Y-DNA haplogroup among Black Americans, found at rates of 65 to 80%. It is also highly prevalent with the Igbo, making Igbos a plausible ancestral source for many Black Americans. Historical records show that the Igbo were the largest single group of enslaved Africans in places like Virginia and Maryland, supporting this genetic link. Some people claim that the E1B1A haplogroup signifies a connection to the ancient Israelites. Interestingly, ancient Egyptian pharaoh Ramesses III has also been found to have the E1B1A genetic marker.